I'm a very aggressive typer.
You are. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 31 of that podcast you're listening to right now, which is Eat, Drink, and Be Scary. Let's talk about the eat and drink part before we go any further. So I guess we should say this is Thanksgiving Eve. And Thanksgiving Eve has to do with things like birds and other food that sucks, but the turkey doesn't. And so because of that, we're eating what Ryan made, which was goddamn amazing Thanksgiving dinner.
Thank you.
Which he actually sent me the recipe for, which I'm very excited about. He also says it takes 3 days.
It does take 3 days.
Which is faster than my normally just microwaving bologna. So I'm very excited about that. You made some mashed potatoes and that gravy. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, that was so good. I can't wait to never make that recipe. I'm sorry, but I probably won't.
I should just texted it to you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'll probably make it because I don't mind spending time on things that are worth it.
And I seriously am like, I got to microwave this. You know, I actually have a theory when I eat, and it's funny, like, I can't wait for things to cool down, so I burn my mouth while I eat them. I also, when I microwave things, I can't wait for them to get hot, so I just eat them half warmed with the icy middle part. And then I figure if I stir it up real quick, it'll just even out.
You get the best of both worlds.
All of it will just be meh.
Meh.
Yeah.
But you are what you eat, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm half baked. All right. So with that, today I guess so that's my segue into. Oh, and also we're drinking.
We're having some cocktails.
Cocktails.
Or cocktails.
And Tanya, what'd you make?
We have Bill and Tom are having a couple of old-fashioned wild turkeys, or wild turkey old fashions.
Wild turkey, keep that in mind. That's a hint to today's episode.
And Ryan and I are having some Grey Goose Bloody Marys. Bloody Mary does not have anything to do with it, but kind of like the scary part. But Grey Goose does.
You know what the funny part is? We're pretending like we're building up that this is going to be about something. But they read the title of it before they clicked on it, so this is all for nothing.
We also announced it last episode.
That's true. And what are we talking about, Ryan?
We are talking about mythical birds and how they would taste.
Oh man, I'm so excited!
Me too.
I feel like everything is going to be gamier than we assume, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, right.
I'm down for whatever.
Anything with butter on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll jump in this real quick, and then I'll kind of let you guys take it from here. But obviously, mythical birds, mythical birds have been a huge part of mythology and everything, whether it comes from Greek mythology or just voodoo, or just the Mothman. Is a Mothman considered a bird just because he has wings?
Well, that would be a bug.
Moth.
I was actually bringing that up, though, but a lot of people think that the Mothman turned out to be an owl.
That's
of all
Owlman.
things.
That's
Who?
different.
Owlman?
But it could be an owl in real life.
The Mothman.
Cut. I get it.
No, sorry. Yeah, I was just. I wasn't asking. I was just doing an owl impression. Sorry.
But okay.
I'm that funny. All right. So let's just jump in. Who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about? Well, first of all, let's talk about. Do you want to talk about like your top 5 favorite mythical birds?
You
want to go first?
I've got one mythical bird that I'm a big fan of.
All right, let's hear about that. Ryan, let's start with you.
So, it's a type of yokai. Are you familiar with the term yokai?
I am not.
It is are you?
I gotta catch them all.
That's not what that is. A yokai it is Japanese. It's a type of spirit that basically translates to beautiful calamity. And they're essentially wild spirits that take on whatever form that they want to. And the one that I like the most is called a basan, and it is a rooster the size of a turkey that is very, very bright colored. It lives in trees and breathes blue ghost fire. And the cool thing about it is what it eats. It actually will go into people's villages or tribes and eat their charcoal and their wood from their bonfires.
So it eats charcoal?
Yeah.
And shoots out blue flames?
Yep, that are not hot.
They're not hot?
Mm-mm. The idea is that it only scares and burns away evil ghosts and spirits.
So otherwise, you're just cool to chill with the Busan.
The Basan, yeah. But the thing about it is if someone goes to see it, it flaps its wings and it disappears. So it doesn't like to be seen by humans, but yet it is beneficial to them.
So how do you know it exists if nobody can see it?
No, they can see it. It just doesn't stick around for them to like have a
No,
conversation
you see
with
it
it.
freak out and disappear.
Right.
Like, oh shit, they see me.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Very cool bird.
Well, how do you what brings out the Busan?
Apparently, bonfires.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what they like to eat: charcoal and
it's
bonfires.
just hungry and searching for bad demons.
Yep, and they like to live in the bamboo forest. So that's where they live. So I'm guessing if it tastes like bamboo, it would be nutty and fresh and probably pretty juicy.
How would you cook one?
Probably put it in a buttermilk brine.
Wait, you're giving away the recipe to everyone.
Well, it's true.
3 days later.
Well, I mean, it's
Ooh la
already
la.
going to have a natural smoky flavor from the charcoal that it eats.
Right.
So you got to play off of that.
I make applewood fires for a month.
That's funny. What are you looking up to? What are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I want to talk about random things because that's how I do things. But
Okay,
I'm gonna, go ahead and Tanya.
If you don't have something that
I have one, but I just don't want to take anybody else's because I have several. So go ahead.
Well, I have one that's. Sorry if you hear that clicking. It's our dog playing on the table. Not on the table, under the table. That'd be weird.
Everybody's got to make a living.
But this one, like this creature, is often mistaken for something else. It's often thought of as a mermaid, but it's a siren.
Oh my God, you just took mine. You did. You took mine.
You can
That's
talk
what
about
I
it.
get for going
Because when you
sooner.
started saying it, yeah, I knew where you were going with it. That's okay. I have a backup.
I dodged
have a
that
yeah.
bullet.
Well, there's
I have
a
a
few that I wanted to go over, but this one was probably my favorite one because sirens are often thought of as these beautiful mermaids that their song captures, the ears of a sailor and makes him crash his ship and all that stuff. But that is not the case. Sirens actually look like women birds, ladybirds.
Ladybirds.
But it was kind of like often in Greek art, they have women's heads, but bird feathers and scaly feet, or sometimes it's represented as like a female figure with the leg of birds. So it's kind of like half bird, half woman.
They sound like
and
the ex-wife of mythology.
basically pretty sexy. But they would they transformed into the mermaid figure by the Middle Ages, and I'm not sure why the transformation, because why not be a woman bird? But they're here. So according to
The freaking
Wikipedia
flying
right
miles suck.
here, it says the 7th century the Anglo-Latin catalog says that sirens were women from their heads to their navels, and instead of legs, they had fish tails. So that's probably where it came up. But the 10th century Byzantine encyclopedia says that from their chest up, sirens had the form of sparrows, and below they were women. So
So they
that
had,
they
like,
were
woman
little,
torsos.
so that they were little birds with women's faces. But like, were they the size of sparrows, or were they human size? This is where things can get
Both
confusing.
would be terrifying.
Exactly.
Well, all I'm seeing is like woman face, sparrow upper body, and then like woman torso, and then fish.
Half woman, half bird, half fish.
It's like the turducken.
Yeah.
Or man bear pig. But anyway,
That's a mythical bird, the
the
turducken.
sirens would, lure the sailors with their songs, and then they'd crash. And they actually, on a show that we very much enjoy, What We Do in the Shadows, they
Great show.
reference sirens in their correct form because she lures them to an island and sings her weird bird song, and they fall in love with her. Sorry, spoilers. But it's I feel like that one is kind of interesting because it kind of just somehow was one mythical creature that actually became a different type of mythical creature, and there's not really an explanation why, but that's probably one of my favorites, is the siren of the woman in bird form.
So it sounds like the harpy as well, right? The Greek mythology harpy, which is part woman, part bird. But I don't think it sang to anybody. I think it just
It just was.
Yeah,
It's just a bird. Did it just in the morning, in like 6 o'clock in the morning, start going like caca, caca? You're like, fucking bird, please shut up. I'm trying to sleep.
I didn't know that if it went from like battlefield to battlefield eating the remains or.
Which actually just reminded me, we had. Do you remember last year we had that bird that would just start? That I forgot it. That bird must have just gone away. Although you know why?
The
'Cause
yelling bird, the hawks.
The hawks moved in. The hawks moved in, and then because 2 hawks moved in and kicked them out,
We had
evicted them.
We had a yelling bird. It wasn't a beautiful bird song. It was literally like, ah!
I'm a bird. I'm a bird. Like over and over. Like we get it. You're a bird. Go away.
It was in the mornings. It literally sounded like someone yelling.
Beautiful.
Not beautiful.
And then,
Just yelling.
and then 2
Can I get
hawks
one of
moved
these
in.
birds?
Yeah.
So how would you cook that one?
Oh, a siren? Well, I feel like because it was often associated with sailors, it would have to be some sort of salty brine. So it'd have to be brined. It sounds like if it is bird and woman, there's a lot of breast happening, so it can't be overcooked because people always overcook the bird and the breast gets dry.
You don't like dry breasts.
Nobody likes dry breasts. You want nice, juicy breasts. So,
Like Tom's.
yes.
They are
Nice
juicy.
and nice and moist.
Thank you for noticing.
But I feel like it would need a good brine and then just kind of a nice I would probably do a bit of a pan sear with some herbs on there.
Like a lightly blackened.
I don't know if it'd be lightly blackened. Maybe just like it would need just like a light powdering of some flour and some seasonings and then kind of pan seared.
There you go.
So that's how I would cook a siren.
All right, so I guess that leaves me. And originally I was going to do the siren, but I actually had a backup just in case. Are you guys familiar? Are you familiar with The Rock?
Ah, yes.
The Rock, which
Only
was,
because I was researching birds.
So
I love that
The
guy.
Rock was a Middle Eastern bird, and this is kind of one of my. I'm going to lead into a thing on this. So, the Rock was a mythical bird in the Middle East, but the biggest thing that people would say about it was. You're shaking your head. Why are you shaking your head, Tom?
Ryan's texting me obscene things.
Oh, okay. Is it his
Is it
penis
bird
again?
boobs?
All right, so
I'll text it.
he said. Well, I think when he said bird breasts, then he goes, "Oh, here's some bird breasts."
I wouldn't be against juicy breasts.
So
I wanna be
They
against juicy
called it. They said it was so large they could fly away with an elephant, and that became its thing for a long, long time. That it was this giant bird, and it even flew over like the China Sea and things like that, and it would just capture elephants and fly off. There was people that told these tales about this, to the point. And here's the one: Marco Polo talked about it. He said it looked like an oversized eagle. Now, here's my thought. Like anything Marco Polo has done over life or over his time, and then he comes in and he says, "Hey, I saw this giant bird and it could fly off with an elephant, look like an eagle." Doesn't that wipe away anything he actually said or did in life? Like you know someone your entire life, and you know them, and then one day they say that crazy thing, and you go, "Oh, I didn't know you were crazy this whole time." I think that was the thing with Marco Polo. Now, through time, scientists, through the whatever those scientists, whatever, like, and they're searching through, and they came up with a solution for it. They said that it was a now extinct version of the ostrich that was called an elephant bird, and it couldn't fly. And I'm thinking, well, that's a bad example to go, but that was the only way they could have it make sense. They go, "Well, it's a giant bird." And they go, "Well, that's a giant bird," and they were actually hunted to extinction.
Well, how does a giant bird that can't fly pick up an elephant
there
and
you go.
carry it off?
Hey, you know why?
Are
Because you know why?
suggesting
It
the
sits at
elephants
the
migrate.
here's how it gets it. It sits at the end of the pool and it goes, "Marco," and then whichever, if the elephant doesn't say pull, yeah, and then it catches it and then it runs off with it. I think the funny thing is, it's like folklore is fun and it's exciting and people tell these tales of stuff. But the second you get like Marco Polo stepping in, you're like, we all know who Marco Polo is. We've all swam in a pool. We all get who he is. And now we have to listen to that. He said that he saw one. It looked like a giant eagle. I don't know. Everything Marco Polo did is like not legitimate. Other than pool games, he's out of my life.
Was it Khan? Genghis Khan that tried to find that bird?
No, that I don't know. If that's a
He
tale,
did. He sent his servants to Madagascar, and they returned with a huge feather. I don't know how huge, but it just says huge.
It was like 4 inches long.
Well, in comparison to
So I didn't know about it.
songbirds.
So I didn't go. The reason why is I had a lot of stuff on the sirens,
Oh, okay.
and I was prepared.
But also,
I'm sorry, teacher. I did not come prepared.
it was according to Marco Polo that Genghis Khan went and did that. So to Bill's point,
Oh, Marco Polo said that.
yeah.
Oh, see, he's full of shit.
Yeah, but so
Do we
it
know that,
really
though?
did kind of happen a little bit to a Roman. What do they call those guys? Caesars. Anyway, so he wanted one of these mythical birds. I think it wasn't what do you call it? Was
The Rock.
The Rock.
The
But-
Rock.
The Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
Oh, he's looking for Sean Connery. No, anyway, so he goes and sends his people out to look for it, and obviously they can't find it because it's mythical. But they can't
What?
come back
It
empty-handed.
wasn't real?
It didn't exist.
Oh my
That's
God.
the turn. Anyway,
so
you
weird.
can't come back to your boss without anything. So they came back with a bird of paradise. And
flower?
No, the bird of paradise.
What's a bird of paradise?
It's a crazy-looking bird with a huge headdress. I'm not exactly sure where they're from.
Let me see if I can find
Africa? South America? Couldn't be South America. Probably.
Wait, where'd he?
Probably that.
Let's put it
part
this
of
way:
Africa.
where'd he go? And that's where they're at. That's where.
I imagine that's where they went. He probably sent them to Africa. I'm as ready as you are, Bill. So anyway, they sent it to him, and he ate that, and it was supposed to grant him immortality, but it didn't because he was killed like 2 years later.
So the bird of paradise bird looks like a weird alien frisbee.
Yeah, it's a weird looking bird. Like legitimately,
yeah,
if you
that's
saw that,
weird.
you'd be like, okay, that looks like a mythical bird.
Hold on.
Can
cook that for
real
me.
quick, while Tanya's pulling this up. Let's have her pull it up, then I'll tell you my thoughts on something. It kind of looks a bit like a mushroom with a.
Oh, that's the one that. Okay.
Does the dance?
We'll share the
big
picture of
mating
it, but it
dance.
looks like a big black blob with little bright blue eyes and a giant blue mouth.
You
But
what
all
did you just Google to
shaped,
find that? Bird of paradise.
Bird of paradise bird.
So I gotta say real quick, if you could sell mortality and get people to
Mortality
buy
or
it,
Immortality.
immortality.
It was like
sorry.
we all have
Last
mortality.
If you
buy
could sell-
some.
if you could sell immortality to somebody and say, "Listen, I have this thing. It's gonna be you'll live forever," and someone will buy it, you would be the richest person in the world with
Yeah, 'cause
never
I'd
a
buy it.
single bad Google review, because no one would. The only time you'd have a customer that's angry is when you die. Like, what are they gonna do about it?
Unless it's like death becomes her.
There is
Seems
never
like
going to
you
be
lose your
anything
arm
without
or-
a single negative Google review. Come on, let's be serious. Somebody's going to be like, "Yeah, I'm living forever, but I feel like shit, so I want to give it a 4, but I'm going to give it a 2, maybe a 1.
The
and a half."
immortality elixir gave me diarrhea.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I Google review everything, and I always read the one reviews, and sometimes they're not actually related to the product. They're just like, this came on a Sunday, and it was raining.
My favorite is the operator failure. It's like, I couldn't open the package.
Oh, yeah, you see that one?
I have never seen one of those.
Oh, they're really, really bad. So, all right, so I guess I should tell you this is how I'd cook my rock. Are you ready? I'd microwave for 15 seconds with a piece of bologna, and it would be so good.
A piece of bologna.
You know,
I'd wrap it in
oversalt
bologna because I'm classy as fuck. I would wrap it in a piece of bologna. I would microwave for 15 seconds.
I feel like you would also then just take a tortilla out of the cabinet and then just roll them all.
that's the
For
best.
complexity
together.
of flavor only.
If you guys
He's
follow
gonna
me,
dip it in mayonnaise.
follow me for more recipes.
No, he just pours ranch straight into his mouth.
But one of my favorite dinners ever is you take like 4 tortillas, good sized tortillas, roll them up, squeeze them really tight, lay in bed, turn on Ancient Aliens, and just eat it in bed. Follow me for more recipes because that is one of. And by the way, this strays away from stuff that I like to eat above the sink, which is another thing which I'm really good at. If you guys want eat above the sink recipes,
Yeah.
that should just be my podcast alone.
Follow Bill's other
that's normally
podcast,
his
Things I Eat Alone Above the Sink.
That's his egg salad recipe.
Happy
Oh,
Thanksgiving,
God,
everybody.
don't get me started on my egg salad recipe. Oh,
It's
so
just-
good. It's egg and mayonnaise. It's really good. Some salt and
On
pepper.
bread.
Oh my God! Don't get me
Eaten
started.
over the
Actually, that's
sink.
not true. I put other stuff in it, like celery and stuff like that. But anyway, that's we're not here to talk about cooking. Well, actually, we are. Sorry, bird. Microwave it, piece of bologna, 15 seconds. Pop it out of the oven. or
You
the
mean
microwave,
microwave.
and everything's great.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's done or not. 15
By
seconds.
the way, I gotta say
Eat
this.
shit.
I'm really satisfied with my drink. It's really, really good.
Yeah, these are great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's old-fashioned.
Tanya, do you want to talk about how you made this drink real quick?
It's bitters, and I didn't have simple syrup, so I used Bada Bing cherry juice, just about a half tablespoon, and then a good 2-finger pour of wild turkey, and mix that all up with a single giant ice cube because you don't want to water it down too much, but you want to water it down and cool it a tiny bit, and then mix it up, and then that was the drink. And then the Bloody Marys are just an eclectic blend of whatever I feel like putting in it.
And they're wonderful.
This one has
And
pickled asparagus juice in it because if I'm using either hot pickles or regular pickles or pickled carrots or pickled asparagus, I always put a little bit of that pickling juice in it.
Hot pickles. Pickles in the microwave. 15 seconds. Follow Bill for more recipes.
With a piece of bologna. 3 years ago, Tanya wrote me a recipe for Bloody Marys, and it still sits on the refrigerator today, and I just stare at it and smile. And I have actually followed it. No, I made it. No, hold on. I did make Bloody Marys.
It brought me years of happiness.
It did.
see, like-
It does.
You're the type of guy that doesn't take the wrapper off the cheese. Just if you melt it long enough, it becomes the cheese.
I love how smooth it goes down.
You know, that's the thing about American cheese. Like,
Hey, at least he's not wasting.
cheese. It's fucking terrible.
It's all
I
plastic.
hate
Why take it
American
off?
cheese. And I actually there was a place in LA that I used to eat at a lot, and they would always call it, they'd say cheddar because it was yellow cheese. And I go, I don't want to be a jerk, but that's not cheddar. You guys are using American cheese. And he's like, cheese is cheese. And then
oh my God.
I burnt his
even give me
restaurant
that.
down to the ground. Cheese is not cheese. Don't tell me. And doesn't it suck that we call American cheese, which is nothing but cheese, like we call it American cheese. It's not cheese.
No.
It makes me mad. I wish we called it something like horrible, and that would be the name that you know.
It is cheese-like substance or cheese substitute or artificial cheese.
So I got to say real quick, we were shooting a film this last week, which we just finished principal production on. It was really fun, and Tani was the art director on it. And there was a scene that one of the characters had to be eating a sandwich. So you took what kind of cheese was it?
Well, I was gonna make a whole sandwichy sandwich and have like some chicken, some other stuff in it. And there I was, well, all this stuff is gonna be falling out, so I don't really want that to happen. I kind of want the bread to just all stick together, but I don't want to do peanut butter because that's gonna be really hard to talk. So I just took some Mexican blend shredded cheese, took 2 pieces of white birch sourdough because we're classy, and just microwaved it together and
Follow me for more recipes.
made 2 microwave cheese sandwiches.
Bill's writing it down. And
Oh no, this is like
this is
first
genius.
page of my recipe. I had to make a cheese sandwich.
And
Microwave.
it's microwaved.
Not for 16 seconds. Just go 15. Pull it out.
It's mostly not going to be melted because nobody got time for that.
So we were. So we're
7.5 seconds, and then rotate it,
So
and
we're
then
shooting
7.5 more seconds.
So we're shooting this from 2 different angles. So we have to have more than one sandwich. So Tony makes 2 sandwiches. But I'm also trying to tell the actors, and one of the actors, her name is Chelsea Klakunis, and she was just in her last film, and she was fantastic. The other one is Rick Cosnett, who is on The Flash, and he was on Vampire Diaries, and he's the other actor in this thing, and he was fantastic. And I will say, for 4 days straight, they did nothing but be professional in this thing. They were just kind of grilling hours, and it was really hard and running gun. And Tanya makes these sandwiches, and she's almost apologetic. She's like, I just made these sandwiches in the microwave, and I feel really bad. And we're shooting these things, and they both have to take a bite from the sandwich. And after we get all the scenes done, they walk up, and somehow this conversation starts, and Tanya says, well, I'm going to throw these away. And Rick's like, I'll finish it.
And he was like,
And he
it was
did.
actually pretty
He has
good.
actually really enjoyed this sandwich very much.
So follow me for more recipes.
Yeah, she's the chef to the stars, just so you know, the microwave chef to the stars. It was pretty amazing.
Make a pretty killer microwave cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
So, Tom,
well,
let's have a very awkward segue.
yay!
Are you,
no segue at all. Left turn
Are
anyway.
you going to talk about more
No, I was just talking about, so I think it's really funny because when we brought up mythical birds, I had a couple that come to mind right away. But then at the same time, I was like, what the hell are we going to talk about to fill up 45 minutes about mythical birds?
There's tons of them.
I know, and that's the thing that kind of came to mind. So after looking it up, I thought, man, there's some stuff that like really comes to mind that's...
Tom thought, what's the deal with mythical birds?
Hey, come on, everybody. No, anyway, so I thought, some of them are gods. You look at Egypt, there's Horus, who
Oh,
goes all
yeah.
the way to Heliopolis.
And I thought
like
that's
the
where
beginning
everyone
of-
was going to go.
Right, that's
so.
like the
You
beginning
mean
of
Horus,
Egypt
the
mythology.
birth of every religion ever, but that's another whole
Everything,
story.
right?
So
And then
that's fine,
if you go with the Hindu people, there's Garuda, and he's a half bird, and he's also, I think, Vishnu's pretty much horse bird man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horse bird.
Yeah.
Man,
Vishnu
bear,
rides
pig.
Garuda, so Garuda is just like a pimped out ride, which is awesome. I think that otherwise you can go to the other way and talk about how there are actual birds. Yeah, there are actual birds that turn out to be just hugely steeped in myth to people like owls and Native Americans. So we were talking about the Mothman, particularly being maybe an owl. And I've flown up against owls in the middle of the night that flew like 2 feet from my windshield and scared the shit out of me. And if I didn't know what the hell they were at the beginning, yeah, I could see how that kind of stuff would play out. And owls, for thousands of years, have been harbingers of death or knowledge keepers or the portals to the other side of the galaxy or another world. That's just how that worked. I think that's really neat because if you look at it, I could still buy that. Owls still are steeped in mythology, I think, today. We all
And they
revere
vomit
owls.
out bones. Which
We
is
don't
just
care
really
about any
gross.
other birds, but owls, they're revered.
And they have the coolest skulls ever. I really want an owl
Yeah,
skull.
actually, looking at an owl skeleton is gross. It's actually really weird. But anyway,
Yeah,
go
or
ahead.
what they throw up.
Yeah, yeah.
But honestly, so I started to go back and I thought, then there's actual mythical things like the thunderbirds, which are really ubiquitous. So that's the thing. As ubiquitous as birds are, thunderbirds are ubiquitous. And you're talking about everything from 1970s sightings of huge things that could have been great teratorns, which are giant 24-foot wingspan birds, which apparently survived and lived up to like 6,000 years ago, which are huge. 168-pound birds, which could pretty much pick you up almost and just fly away.
Elephant birds or rocks.
Yeah, they're huge. Huge birds that could pick up elephants. Or, and by the way, I've owned 2 of those.
2 rocks?
Elephants?
2 elephants. 2 rocks.
Yeah, wait,
But that's
what?
all I've ever been able to
Where did
gather
that
is 2
come
rocks. No, also actually, so Thunderbirds, I've owned 4 with my
Oh,
wife's.
okay, I get it.
4 different generations of Thunderbirds. So I feel like I'm...
So we're talking about the car.
Yeah. So,
Right,
no,
right.
Thunderbirds in general. And that's what I'm saying. It could be a car. It could be a pterodactyl or pterodactyl or whatever they call those things.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
hell's
Pterodactyl.
pterodactyl?
Pedophile? What?
The P is
Pterodactyl is a
silent.
very nice man.
Did you have to go door to door and tell people?
You mean
Yes,
a
I have
pterodactyl?
I have a-
Which
I-
they're not even called pterodactyls anymore, are they? They're called something different.
Well,
Well,
they're
it's
not
like-
pterodactyl.
They're Peter.
But that's also the same way that
T-dactyl.
suddenly one day on TV, everybody says Neanderthal.
Too much to drink.
So
He's talking
suddenly,
about
like,
Peter docile.
anyone with a degree in anything says Neanderthal. I'm like,
Neanderthal.
are we saying Neanderthal now or are we saying Neanderthal?
No, that's the correct way to pronounce it.
Which
as long
one?
as I say so, and it's on a podcast, it's got to be
What's the
right.
correct way? Hold on. Which way?
It's Peter T. Dactyl.
I thought we're talking about Neanderthal. How do you-
Neanderthal. That's
Oh,
it's
that's
easy.
okay. Neanderthal. Okay, now I know. Write that down.
Yeah. It makes it sound like an actor. Anyway, I wanted to go back to Phoenix because if I wanted to pick a mythological bird.
You didn't even bring it up yet.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I want
yeah,
okay,
get
so
back.
I
You
want
want to go back to it? Did
So
we get
that's
there?
the thing.
I'd
Instead
like to
of
get back to
Thunderbirds,
something I haven't talked
which
about
are
yet.
anything, which could be mythical birds of ancient, which could be real birds that like survived 6,000 years ago, or could have been dinosaurs with 40-foot wingspans, and we're just going to call all of them Thunderbirds. So that really is just a catch-all phrase, I feel like. But phoenixes, which I didn't bring up before, now I'm going to get back
But
to.
now he's bringing back to the
You're
thing
not,
that
you
was brought
can't get
before.
back to something you haven't brought up.
I'm a time traveler, and
From
Phoeni,
the asses.
Phoeni are Phoenixi, Phoenix.
Phenai?
Phoenix.
What-
Are
I'm curious
birds
what
that
this
have like a 500-year lifespan, supposedly. And then when they feel like they're dying, they go and they gather a nest of myrrh and a couple other things, and then they essentially light themselves on fire until they're ash. And then, obviously, you don't have to cook anything. And that's why I picked it, because it's so easy. It cooks itself.
Jesus.
So it's self-cooking.
It's a
but-
self-cooking bird.
But you can't eat it because then it's back alive.
No, I mean, like, there's a window.
So I hear.
Okay, hold on. If it turns to ash,
Uh-huh. I don't have high standards.
would you think that it would be a smaller version of itself? because it's not going to make.
At the beginning.
Well, it won't retain its water.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, because all the water cooks out.
It microwaves itself. Yeah.
Yeah,
For 15 seconds with a piece of bologna.
and if you go by like movies and the Harry Potter and the Two Phoenixes, One Goblet movie, then it was a really small phoenix right at the beginning
Two
when it
Phoenix,
came out.
one goblin. I see what you did there.
Yeah. So it came out with a tiny little phoenix that would have been
Oh.
easy to just grill up with a couple of eggs.
So, this is what I found. An
Phoenix.
account by the Roman senator Monolus? Monolus?
Monoteles.
Passed on by Herodotus in the 5th century BC, says that the home of the phoenix was Arabia, where it died every 540 years on a nest of sweet fragrance. After death, a worm was born from the marrow and bones of the carcass. The worm would then transform into a new phoenix. So in this case, the early worm is the bird.
Oh. And that's our podcast.
So
Wow.
I take the worm,
So it's
put in a
not-
bottle of tequila, and celebrate my Thanksgiving the way I
hold
always
on.
do.
So let's talk about this for a second. All right. So essentially, they're saying like the bird says, "Oh, I'm 539 years old. My
I'm feeling
birthday's
pretty
next
old.
week.
Got
I better
arthritis."
get some myrrh, maybe some frankincense. I don't know what you're gonna
Yeah.
burn yourself with, and you're gonna make a fire,
Mm-hmm.
knowing you're gonna die, and then you burn yourself, and then how fast do you become a worm again?
It doesn't say how long the worm to phoenix
Well, I'm
thing
curious
takes
if
place,
Phoenix to worm.
but in the
So you
other
have to go
case,
phoenix
so
to worm-
from
worm to phoenix.
Slavic folklore, it's a 500-year cycle, like Tom said, and then the phoenix, as it knows it's getting near its end, it builds a nest, and then the bird sits on the nest and spontaneously combusts. And then a young phoenix rises from the ashes, replaces the older one. So in the Slavic lore, it's just straight to bird. There is no worm.
Have you ever? So it's like Tom. He goes to Del Taco. He goes home and goes, "I'm going to self-combust," and now I have worms. And that's
Thank you for
exactly
saying that there is no worm.
worms.
Not
I
saying that.
got worms.
I have worms.
I got worms.
So I just wanted to say, like, that's part of the reason I picked the phoenix as well, is because it lives in like 6 different mythologies and ancient cultures throughout the world, which
yeah,
is pretty
it's-
cool.
So do the bird women. I mean, there's the alkanost, there's the harpy, there's the siren, there's
Yeah, but they're largely different creatures.
Well, how's a harp? Okay, so you brought up harpy. How's a harpy different from a siren?
they're the same thing essentially. They're
Except I think sirens are supposed to be beautiful and lulling you in, and
No.
harpies are legitimately horrendous,
so
aren't
the
they?
original
They're both
the
horrendous.
original sirens are not pretty. I mean, they're
no,
They're not.
half
no.
bird
That's
women.
where their music came in.
Yeah,
But you want to have sex with them because they sing nice.
it's
Which is like
they
Adele.
never.
Oh, yeah. What?
That was never the thing. With
I'm sorry,
the
Adele, if you're listening.
sirens.
I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna say that I'm gonna cut that part out, but I'm not. Sorry. I should say Madonna now. That's what I meant to say. It's Madonna.
Or Kesha, or somebody nobody cares about now.
I don't know. Adele's very pretty. I shouldn't even said that. That was even funny.
You're a terrible person.
But actually, because all the music I listen to now, they're old. Everyone's dead. So how about that?
Basically.
So who am I supposed to bring up? I just found out like
We should give thanks that all our music that's good is dying off.
yeah. Every time everybody I listen to. Like seriously, like every band I listen to has like one dead member. And
Stop listening
at
to new
least
music,
one.
Bill. It's you. You're
I don't
doing
listen
it.
to music, or you listen to somebody, you're like, oh yeah, they're dead now.
Yep. It's a curse.
So there's one bird that I want to talk about that I had not heard of this one, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And it is the I'm not sure how to pronounce this correctly, but the Caladrius. But it's from Roman mythology,
The
a pure white snow white bird,
Ooh la la.
and it would, according to tradition, it absorbed disease from a sick person, and then would fly away towards the sun. As it got closer to the sun, it
Burn it away.
would basically burn off the disease from the person, thereby healing itself from that person's disease. And
For 5 easy payments.
yes, for 5 easy payments. But
sorry, your copay
there was
won't
also a
cover
thing
this.
that if the bird was around a sick person and it looked into the person's face, that person would live, and if it looked away, they would die. So it was kind of like the cats that would lay on the people's laps in the old folks' home, that if the cat came, you were up next. So it was,
That's like a shitty Groundhog's Day.
It comes and takes your sickness, but you can't look it in the eye.
kind
Is that what it is? So you're like, thank you, but no
So
thank
you're
you.
like, you're not feeling well.
Right.
And a cat and a bird walk in. And you're like, come here, bird. Come on, be my friend, bird. The bird just like looks away and the cat goes, sup. You're like, God damn it. I'm going to die now. This sucks.
So a cat, bird, and a fish walk in and start singing Adele.
That's it.
I'm really surprised no one mentioned Big Bird.
Well, he's got.
But
Big
he's
Bird's
not
got
mythical.
vaccinated.
He's very real.
Yeah, it's Snuffleupagus
Yeah,
is mythical.
dumbass. Have you not seen him?
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Did you not grow up with PBS on the 4 channels that we all had growing up on?
Brought to you by viewers like you.
Right?
Viewers, like,
I want everybody to remember, though, as they go home to their turkey, that of all these myths that may live thousands of years in the past, the turkey in North America has been around for like 20 million years. So it's older than all of those.
can we talk about the dodo, though? You know what happens to the dodo, right?
We ate them.
No, we didn't know.
No.
You know what happened? The
No.
dodos were these
off the cliff.
fearless birds that lived on islands. And
Like Braveheart.
so here's what. Okay, so they had no predators. So people say the dodos were dumb, but they weren't dumb. The dodos were just animals that lived. They had no predators, and they lived on these islands, and everything was great. And all these ships started showing up that were infested with rats, and then they started actually bringing predators on to fight the rats, and those are what killed the dodos, because the dodos didn't ever have to be afraid of anything. So we killed off the dodos because they lived this nice, beautiful life. And when we started bringing predators on and things that started killing them, because they didn't know, they would walk up to anything. Oh, hi, terrible, mean mountain cat. Will you be my friend? And the mountain cat's like, I'm going to eat you. And that's where they're all dead now.
So the
Because
moral of
they
that
had
story is the solution is to do nothing.
No, so we killed off the dodo because they lived this nice, wonderful life. And that'd be like right now they bring in like this terrible predator to us now that we didn't know. Well, we did actually. They're I won't say it. I'm going to get political. But anyway, whatever. But yeah, like all of a sudden these gun-toting assholes walk up and we don't know any better and they just shoot us all. All right, so anyway, that's another story.
So, going back to the disease-freeing bird, I feel like it's pretty pure, which means it's probably going to need a lot of flavor. So this one, I'm just going
We're
to
still doing
do
the
the
cooking thing.
blackened seasoning, like get something really good, robust Cajun seasoning on it, and grill it.
Okay,
It
okay. So
needs
So do you want to
some
get it
help.
hold on.
post-purification or pre-purification?
Well, that's
With
the
like,
problem you have.
little
because
salt and
we've-
flavor on
We've
it.
all
Flavor.
had.
I don't really want my caladrius with a side of leprosy.
I was gonna
So
say, that hint-
Well, but okay,
just
so
hints of herpes.
I'd like to know if anybody here has never had that time they go, smell this chicken. Do you think I could cook it? And we all go, just cook it a little more. Like that's. Don't give me that look, Ryan. You've never done that. Do you immediately like
smell
do you know how
chicken to tell if it's
expensive
good?
Meat is? So
That's
do you know
not
how expensive
ready.
bologna is. Do you ever?
That's
do you
not
know
hot
how
enough.
Expensive. You've never every time you question a food, you throw it away, or do you go, I'm gonna try it and see what happens.
I stick
and
my
I hope
finger
I
in
don't
it.
get the shits.
No, I throw it away.
Really? Oh God, I grew up poor, so like I sit there and I'm like,
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've eaten a McDonald's burrito out of the back of a car, like that was 3 days old, but I knew it was going to be okay. If I have to smell something and wonder if it's good, I'm not going to eat it.
Well, that's the thing. You don't smell it first. You put it all in a burrito wrap and eat it.
yeah, but okay, but have you? Okay, Tom, are you? So you're like, oh shit, it's Tuesday, and you go, oh my God, I have to cook this chicken in the next few days, or I have to throw it away, and then life happens, and suddenly it's Friday, and you go, oh shit, I forgot to cook the chicken. Do you A, throw it away, B, smell it and make a decision, or C, say fuck it and just cook it? What do you do?
I think air fryer and spray tan.
There we go, and that's it, and that's most people's lives. So for you to pretend that you're better than us, Ryan.
Oh, I'm not pretending. I just wouldn't eat that fucking food.
Yeah, don't pretend you don't spray tan
I
your
have-
chicken. Your
so-
turkeys. Thanks,
So when I lived in LA, I found some lunch meat that was in my fridge. I'm like, I don't remember buying this.
Mr.
and then
the wrong house.
and then I just rolled it up around some cheese and ate it. And then I found out later that my neighbor brought that over, and he was going to have me check it, and then just threw it in my fridge and forgot
Why
to
in the
ask
hell
me.
would
And he
anyone
goes,
do
"Did you
that?"
look at the expiration date? It was like 6 months old." I'm like, "Why'd you bring it to my house?" He goes, "I was going to have you smell it, and I forgot."
I wanted a second opinion.
So I
That's rough.
ate 6 month over expired ham and cheese that first of all I didn't remember buying, so I just assumed I bought it, or ham. But I guess what? It didn't die. Joke's on you guys. Because
So, well, I'm just going to interrupt you because now I have an actual question about the podcast topic and not about your ham and cheese.
yeah,
So, one of the things that I almost brought up, but I didn't, is because it is a hybrid, kind of like how the siren is a hybrid. But a griffin,
Or like a manicore or a
because
griffin.
it's the
Manticore?
a griffin is the body and tail and back legs of a lion, but it's like the head and wings of an eagle. Does that classify as a mythical bird? Or
Well, a siren does.
hybrid?
I'm
Like
gonna
a
say
siren's
wings.
half a
The
woman.
second it has a wings, I feel it's a bird. And that's just me.
That's it? So Icarus
So
is
a
a bird.
Pegasus is a bird.
Yeah,
Pegasus is a bird?
Pegasus is a horse bird.
So
Bird. There's bird in there. Like,
So it would have to be a bird horse because bird would have to be
so
first.
show me something right now that flies
So is
that's
there?
not a bird.
Well, is there?
Insect.
Because bat bird, and moth bird,
UFOs.
they're all.
So is there like a formula if it
Okay,
is
let's just say
whatever
feathers. Let me
percentage
go feathers.
bird? Then I mean
Does it
like
have
a
feathers?
Pegasus is like less than 25% bird,
But does it have feathers?
but it does
Partially.
Bird.
partially.
Bird.
I would
It's a bird.
say whichever animal it is more of would go first.
But if
Okay,
it's
oh,
but if it's
then
like a
what's a
half and
centaur?
half.
A centaur is
Well, a centaur.
half human, half.
So
You're saying half.
so here's the
half and
thing.
half.
So,
So
it's half
You just
person.
said more. Don't. Then
Like,
now that's
I'm
it. We're
talking
on
about-
fisticuffs now because now
You
you're
don't
saying
listen.
whatever it's more of. You can't then say half.
Yeah, for example, if it's horse and wings, it's going to be more horse. So, excuse me. So it'd be a horse bird, right?
What if it's a Pegasus, but it's got a little bit of a tickle in its throat, and it's a little horse in its throat? All right.
Well,
Well, anyway,
then it
this
would
we'll
it'd
go
be
back.
3/4 horse.
Just ignore that comment. But my thing is like, so it's a half. It's like it's a centaur.
But
That has nothing to do with birds.
No, but I'm saying you're saying the half of like they're half. So with your logic, I would say.
but a centaur isn't half person, half bird. It's basically it's just half a human where the horse head goes.
yeah, it's like 7/8 horse. and half
Exactly.
human, which is still one. That's how math
All right.
works.
So listen, Ryan, look
horseman.
look at me for a second. You're 38% Chickasaw, okay?
Okay.
And suddenly the government says we're going to give $10,000 a month to anyone who's Chickasaw.
Okay.
And you're like, oh shit, I qualify for that. Are you going to go like, oh, I'm Chickasaw?
I would
Even
say,
though you're not half Chickasaw.
Are you calling me out because they actually did get the Cherokee?
No, I'm not. I'm looking.
I would
I would
say
live with
I'm 38% Chickasaw.
And you're going to take the check?
Absolutely.
Then guess what? A Pegasus is a goddamn bird.
I didn't
So
say
fuck you, dude.
I didn't say it wasn't.
It was no. You said no.
Okay.
It is. It's a bird.
Okay, hold on a
Pegasus
second.
is a bird.
Follow that logic. So there.
What
Here's your check.
What you were talking about is how to name the item. And I said if it's more of one, that name should go first.
Bird.
I'm not saying bird shouldn't be in the name. I'm saying like if it's part horse, part bird, if it's more horse, it's a horse bird. That's how my brain works.
It's a. I feel it's a bird.
Well, I
That's
think
the best way.
beaks. Because don't all birds have beaks?
No, they don't. Actually, I don't know. I just threw that
I was
out.
just like,
I'm pretty
you
sure
know
it's
anyone
going.
that doesn't?
I'm pretty sure all birds have a beak of some kind. Like,
Probably.
Well,
whereas anything else, like other things can fly and other things have wings, only birds have beaks.
Yeah, but think of an insect that has feathers.
a squid has a beak.
Oh, in your face.
We don't know
Tom.
that squids can't fly.
Have you ever thrown a squid?
Oh, just as a really cool aside, I saw that squids and lobsters and
Yeah.
octopus are going to be
They're
sentient
sentient
beings. Yeah,
beings, yeah.
in the UK. So
It
not
it's
here.
Not going to stop anyone from.
They
eating
can't
them.
think for themselves here, just like anybody else. But in the UK, they can think
Hey,
for
once
themselves.
one gets a job, we'll talk. But listen, until then. But the reality is, yeah, like no one's going to stop eating them because of that.
Well,
Like
yeah.
not when you have people to go, hey man, you ever heard a lobster scream? Like, you have problems.
Now just sadistic people are going to enjoy it more.
I don't know. Well, it's not like when you kill a cow, it doesn't go like, well, like a cow's like, oh my God, I'm getting killed. This sucks. Like, show me a single cow that was cool with being killed, but we'll eat a hamburger all day long.
Maybe they're nihilists. They're like,
now,
what a world it is that I lead.
the next time you're eating calamari and someone goes, hey, bruh, just so you know. Like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Chickens know. That's why they run from you. I'm going to kill a chicken. The chicken's like, oh, fuck you are, and it runs. It's not like a chicken's like, yeah, kill me, man.
All right,
Make
guys.
some nuggets out of me.
So here's one that's a tribrid type thing.
Tribrid?
Like a chimera?
A bird.
It's a pomola. It's a legendary bird spirit that appears in Abenaki mythology. This spirit causes cold weather.
I thought you were gonna
It's
kill
very much
cold
a
sores.
man-bear-pig situation where it is the head of a moose, the body of a man, and the wings and feet of an eagle.
Whoa. So it's got talons, and it's a man. Does it have antlers? Does it
So
have
it's
moose antlers?
basically
How does it fly with that big ass head?
Well, like the antlers is like, I'm thinking that you could just hang a bunch of grocery bags up there and then fly home. It'd be really convenient.
Okay.
I don't think those are aerodynamic. I kind of feel like.
intrigued by this. And it says
What's it called again? I'm sorry.
Pamola. Pamela?
Yeah,
It's
it's Pamela. Oh, I dated Pamela. Oh yeah, I get it. She had eagle feet.
But I mean, it's a moose man eagle. Okay, so
A what? Say it
wings,
again.
moose man eagle. So whenever it
Moose-man-eagle.
says, okay, so it says feet of an eagle. So it's body of a man. So it's got a wing, but a moose head, and just eagle feet, not wings,
It doesn't
not
have wings?
feathers,
Not
not
legs?
bird, tail, anything. It's just the feet of an eagle.
So it doesn't fly.
It doesn't walk very well either because
Or get through
bird
doors.
talon feet like that aren't really meant for walking along the ground so much. So this feels like the world's most top-heavy predator ever.
It goes around sounding like Bullwinkle.
That's funny. So I was talking to Ian, my 9-year-old, about this topic, and his favorite bird is the peacock. But when he was younger, he couldn't say the word peacock, so he called them he-hogs.
He hogs.
So every time we see a peacock, he calls it a he-hog. So he wanted me to bring up he-hogs on the episode.
There you go.
Well, I do love
He-hogs.
he hogs.
How many times in your life though do you see a peacock?
Oh,
It's just
several.
like,
There
hey, I went
used
down
to
to the street
be,
to go get some milk and I saw a peacock.
when I lived up on the bench, someone up there had a peacock that would get out all the time, and so you would just be driving around and just see a peacock wandering around the side of the road all the time.
Yep.
So I want to talk about the moose head guy again. Is this a thing that people claim they saw, or was it just somebody told a nice, beautiful tale like they do about like?
Yeah, where's
like
this guy come from?
nobody ever actually saw a phoenix. It was just written up in a tale.
Mythology.
Isn't it like mythology? But ever somebody goes, hey, listen, last week I was camping and I saw a moose man, eagle foot, wingy guy, and he tried to kill me. And somebody goes, and then somebody goes like, huh? Let's go find out if it's true. Like, that's what I want.
It's like one
So-
guy's talking to a bunch of kids. What are you guys all scared of? Yeah, it was all of those things.
Hey man, I'm afraid of moose. I'm afraid of eagles. I'm afraid of men.
Yeah.
You're like, well, okay, here's the worst thing ever.
So you wanted
It's a
to
focus
know
group.
you wanted
It's
to know
called
who wrote about
Who?
Pamela.
Pamela. Hey man, where's
Pamela.
Pamela?
Henry David Thoreau, of his August 1846 exploration of the Penobscot River and Katahdin, wrote, Pamela is always angry with those who climb to the summit of Catan.
Okay, so at
Not
the same time,
Catan, but like
the
K-A...
though, so,
or K-A-T-A.
but it almost sounds like, so I'm a guy and I'm like, They're like, hey, man, were you dating a girl named Pamela? Like, oh, man, I broke up with her. That girl had a moose face. She had, she had eagle feet. They were so gross, I hate to touch them. And she had the body of a man. Wait, did she have a penis? No, man, I didn't say she had a penis. I'm just saying she had a man body. So chest hair. No, man, I'm saying that. But, like, that's really... like
This interview is over.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. But that's kind of like how the ex-girlfriend things go. Like, I've had some bad ex-girlfriends, and I could say I can make up mythical creatures about them all day long. Half pig, half... I think it'd be 400 halves of something.
So the crazy thing to me about Tanya's story is you said like 1840-something. That's not that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, I
like-
feel like throw is
Well, not
kind
if
of
you're
recognized.
Not if you're a phoenix and you live forever, so or 540 years, so... But yeah.
I wonder if that could almost be like the Native American population maybe utilizing the head of a kill that they've done. I don't understand about the eagle feet, but I know that a lot of the Native Americans used to wear pelts of bear and...
Or it seems like a totem pole. Seems
Well,
like a
and I
totem.
mean, this sounds exotic, and it is by the Penobscot tribal nation. I don't know how to say this correctly, so my apologies. But I mean, this creature inhabited Katahdin, the tallest mountain in Maine.
Maine.
So I mean, it's not like
all
it's
of Maine.
This is like a
Maine have like just two small hills over the whole thing.
it's like
Yeah.
a bullshit.
I'm sorry.
So,
Fit the
I
whole
mean-
state in like 3 of our counties.
Geography, yeah. I don't know. Like I've never been to Maine.
Pamela's Passage.
So apparently there is the Pamela Lodge, which is an honor, which is kind of like one of the camping society areas of the Boy Scouts of America.
I
So
was in the Boy Scouts. I never heard of Pamela.
So I just want to
You're
like
probably too busy being touched by your scout leader.
I want to make it
fucking
clear,
hope
like
not.
we always make that division between birds and animals, right? And I think it's because the one big difference is that birds can fly and we can't. Like we were on the same playing field as any other animal on Earth.
I've been in an airplane. I've flown.
You've flown, right? Some people aren't that privileged. I'm just kidding. No, I've flown without an airplane. It wasn't fun.
That's called falling.
Yeah, it was graceful.
Right in my head, man. Everything was great.
So if flying is a big thing that changes the difference, that's a different playing field. And like I was bringing
then
Icarus up at before.
Penguins, ostriches, emus,
Yeah, but
chickens.
there are short straws on
Kiwis.
every lot.
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm still going to say it's thumbs. And I actually had this conversation like, thumbs? When's the last... So seriously, Tom, when's the last time you ate something that had a thumb?
Technically, there are bones that
He's, by the way, Tom's
Fit
thinking right now. He's
in-
actually thinking really hard.
You just shook me a
That.
little bit.
Yeah, when's the
Spit.
last time? It's thumbs. It's thumbs. If a dog had a thumb...
That's basically what the dew claw is.
Well, but it's not useful. The dew claws we remove.
So
Can
you
you imagine
need-
if babies
So
would remove
you need
their
to you need to
thumbs at birth?
specify opposable thumbs. And
You'd have to eat it.
Hey, that baby still got thumbs, man. Take it off. You would eat it.
But in the
Tom-
microwave,
so Tom
it's
has not been able to answer the question. Tom, when's the last time you ate something that had a thumb?
I mean, like, define eat and thumb.
No, I'm just gonna find a thumb. This, by the way, this is a
He's
thumb.
gonna be like,
look at my.
"Last
Look
night."
imagine I'm Fonzie. Okay, look at me. This is a thumb. Thumbs are the things that kept. It's not speech. It's not.
I think beaks, but thumbs make sense. But like thumbs
you'll eat
doesn't make
things with
something a
beak.
bird.
You eat things with a beak. You eat things with wings. You eat things with
So
hooves.
you're talking about things we eat and don't eat. Yes, I don't eat things with thumbs,
Okay, well there we go.
but I'll eat sentient things. That's fine. Like so.
Yeah, yum yum. Give me all the lobster, right?
Squid, lobster, octopi.
But if lobsters had thumbs, and they were like hold things, they could fight you. Like they fought you. They just hold up a sword and they would fight.
they
you.
can hold swords.
Well, no,
Do you
those are
remember that,
those are clampy clamps.
There was an Onion article that said that marine biologists find that dolphins grew thumbs, and the only thing they can say is "holy shit," and it's a picture of this dolphin holding an old hammer. It's really funny.
No, so what I was getting at was if Icarus is the closest we've gotten to flying mythologically, and he died just because of his aspirations, the real moral of all of this is to not chase your dreams.
And
Stay where you're at and be thankful for
and-
what you've got.
So hold on.
Happy
but with
Thanksgiving.
with that, how would you cook Icarus? And there's the question.
He cooked himself again.
There we
Yeah.
go. So you would
I'm
cook
into
him.
I'm into the easy meals, Bill.
That's
you
a
would broil it.
that's
You
a
would-
high broil.
You would high broil
broil,
it.
right.
I had a little
All
Flamunda
right.
cheese.
So with that, I think we're done. This has been an hour of nonsense that we've talked about. 15 minutes of birds, and the rest is Tom wouldn't eat things with thumbs.
And
But
your recipes.
my recipes are so goddamn good. You guys don't listen. Here's the thing: is if you guys want to know what it's like to get high on mushrooms, you need a can of salmon from Costco. I can go on that story for about 45 minutes, and it's fan-fucking-tastic. But besides that, I think we're done. So anyway, I should let everybody know that if you're listening to this episode now, and it's Thanksgiving Eve, you're listening to it right after we did it. If you're listening to it on Thanksgiving, it was
Happy
the day after. It was
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We did it after. And we won't be thinking about this anymore. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening. I think this is a really fun episode. I'm glad that we're back. We're going to be doing a couple more. What's the next one about?
Divine intervention.
Divine intervention.
And we kind of already know another one coming up. Tony, you
Well,
want to talk about it a little
no.
bit? Okay,
no.
we're not going to talk about it.
We're gonna save that
So
for the
there.
big reveal. But
I'm
I do
actually very
want to
excited.
say thank you to all 6 people that listen to this podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the 6 people outside of us, so the other 2 additional people that listen to this podcast outside of the 4 of us here, thank you.
And I'd like to thank my mom for
appreciate your time.
never listening to this. So that was fantastic. And I want to, again, I got to say, Ryan, great job on the food. It was really, really good. Tony, great job on the drinks. Like,
Thank you.
I'm halfway through. This is the sound of my old-fashioned being emptied. And I really
Halfway through, you need to understand what half and empty is.
No, halfway. No. Halfway through.
Halfway through when he intended to
podcast.
drink,
Halfway
get him
through the
another one.
podcast, this emptied, and I was really just excited to fill out more. So, again, like we're back on track. We're feeling good. We're here in our little studio in Boise, Idaho, downtown Boise, Idaho, and Ryan and Tom and Tiny and myself, Bill. We're really excited you guys are back. So, hey, with this, I'll make a little push. Share this podcast with your friends. Some cool stuff are going on. I think there's a fun episode. Let them listen in. Cool stuff coming up.
Captivate him or hold him captive, whatever it takes.
Tom's going to lock you in your closet. In his closet. And so anyway, subscribe. And by the way, take a little moment and give us a rating online. Just let people know that you like us, or let us know you hate us. I know it was Ryan why you don't like us. But anyway, that's another story. And with that, anybody want to say anything?
Thank you.
Anything.
Have a
Sorry.
good night.
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Happy
good night.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.